We are here today to talk about continuing the good work that we started 2 years ago to make good public sector jobs available to more Iowans. 2 years ago, we eliminated the requirement to have a 4-year degree to work in the auditor's office as an auditor. We thought about this and really realized that we were facing a massive workforce shortage, as is the rest of the country for qualified auditors and accountants. And traditionally, we had required a 4-year degree to do that work. But in reality, we have community colleges around the state of Iowa who offer a 2-year degree in accounting. And there's lots of smart, practical, hardworking Iowans who go get those degrees. They look at the situation and they say, well, I can get a degree in the same field in half the time for less than half the money. It's a wonderful, value-oriented mindset that we certainly want to encourage people to have if they are working as the taxpayer's watchdog. Because that's the kind of mindset that fundamentally we want to apply to the work that we do reviewing state agencies and reviewing local audits. It's gone well for our office so far. In the last 2 years, 10% of our hires have been people with a 2-year degree. I think that that's a really good number, considering that this is a brand new program and those pipelines are only just now getting built as opposed to actually having already existed. So what we have done is partner with a nonprofit called Opportunity at Work that does similar work nationwide. The way that they talk about this, which makes a lot of sense to me, is tearing through the paper ceiling. There are all kinds of jobs in the public sector where the job description states that a 4-year college degree is required, or it states that a 4-year college degree is preferred. That paper ceiling stops a lot of really well-qualified people from applying for those jobs or getting those jobs. Specifically, the way that Opportunity at Work defines these folks is they call them stars, skilled through alternative routes. And what they're looking at are people with military service, with community college degrees, and on-the-job training. When you look at those three categories, you see that 60% of Iowans qualify as stars. That's pretty good compared to 53% of that nationally. So we've got a good chunk of these workers right here in the state of Iowa. And the bottom line is that there are a lot of jobs in the public sector, in public service in Iowa that are not getting filled on a timely basis. There's work to be done, and we need more people to feel qualified and welcome to apply for those jobs. The way we do that is really simple. We eliminate the requirement for the 4-year degree where it's not fundamentally something that you have to do the work. And so, and what Opportunity Work has seen in doing this work is that even the suggestion that a 4-year degree is preferred will actually discourage a lot of people from applying for these kinds of jobs. We've actually got someone standing in the room today that fits that description. CJ Peterson works in our office. He does some of the communications and press work. And he was encouraged to apply for that position and almost didn't do it because the job stated 4-year degree preferred. He reached out and raised that concern. We said, please don't worry about it, please apply. But he had been inclined to not apply because of it. He did not have a 4-year degree when he came to work for us. He's working towards it right now, but we knew from having seen his work that he did good work. And I think there's a lot of other people around the state that fit that description. And so we want to make sure that they have the opportunity to do this work and work for taxpayers in purpose-focused work in the public sector. So when you look at this, what we have done with Opportunity at Work is we worked with them to provide all of Iowa's public sector job descriptions, then worked with them to isolate those that actually would make the most sense to remove that 4-year degree requirement or to eliminate that statement in the job listing that states a 4-year degree is preferred. So what we came up with is 28 different positions across all different aspects of the public sector in state work in the state of Iowa that we are recommending that where the state eliminate that 4-year degree requirement or eliminate that it's a preferred aspect for it. Again, what that's going to do is encourage more people to apply who are these stars. They're people who are skilled through alternative routes, military service, community college, and on-the-job training. And we think that once these jobs are opened up and those people feel welcome to apply, we're going to get a broader cross-section of Iowans applying for this work, including a lot of people who are value-focused, practical-focused, who have made those career decisions for those reasons, And I think that's a good kind of mindset to have working for the taxpayers of the state of Iowa. Happy to answer any questions.
28 or 28?
28. 28 different job titles. Oftentimes you have many people filling that job. So the number of jobs would be far higher. I don't know what the number of jobs would be, but certainly far higher than 28. So 28 job classifications.
And how many people in your office have you hired to fill this criteria?
It's, well, actually, I guess it would be, yeah, a little over 10% of our hires in the last 2 years. And again, I want to emphasize, that is in the last 2 years, having just made that change. Hiring is often a pipeline, and so we expect that those impacts are going to grow. Our office for decades has been going to job fairs at the University of Iowa, going to job fairs at Iowa State, at UNI, right? Doing recruiting for that 4-year degree pipeline. We know who to talk to there. We know when the job fair is going to be. They let us know if things are changing. We are still building those networks and building that recruitment pipeline for people with 2-year degrees. And so we think that number will probably increase as time goes forward.
Maybe touch on this a little bit, but can you speak a little bit to, I mean, is there a worker shortage, applicant shortage that address?
Yeah, you want to let them in? Thank you. Yeah, we've had a pretty significant shortage, I would say. Workforce is one of the biggest problems for the state of Iowa, right? It is hard for us to grow as a state or even to sustain our population if we don't have more working age people in the state. We have jobs out there that need to be filled, and it's hard for us to find the people to fill them. That is true for both the public sector in Iowa and the private sector, right? So what we're doing today is talking about finding one particular way to make sure that we can match our workforce with the jobs that are available that need to get filled, right? And so across these 28 job classifications, you have positions that state a 4-year degree is required, but when you actually dive into the work that is done in that position, there are alternative ways to be qualified for that. And right now, the system is set up in a way where we are not recruiting those people, we are not inviting them to apply, we are in fact discouraging them from doing that.
You mentioned you partnered with a nonprofit. How did that partnership?
Good question. I think if I recall correctly, I was familiar with their work because I had seen them doing it in other states. I know that the Republican governor of Maryland, Larry Hogan, had done this in Maryland, and I think that's probably the place that I saw it, but they have done this work with leaders from both parties around the country. And so I think having read about that, I was familiar with what their work was and probably reached out on that basis.
When it comes to the actual practical process of stripping away those requirements, is that something that gets done on an agency basis?
So we were able to do it in our office because we've got an elected head. For state agencies, typically their hiring process is run through DAS, that's the Department of Administrative Services. And so at the end of the day, DAS is sort of the repository of job descriptions and job qualifications for the state of Iowa. And so it would have to be, this is a report that we will share with DAS for them to consider in the work that they do for setting those qualifications. No, this is a report that we put together with Opportunity at Work, and we're going to send it over to them.
Can you speak about the Friday calling you in actually?
Look, we'll put it this way. The case in district court was dismissed prior to even having a trial, right? All the Supreme Court has done is send it back to say we want to see additional factual development. So we're disappointed that we have to go back and have to remand it and redo some of that or start to do some of that. But the bottom line is we have an obligation in the law in Iowa that's unique for our office, and that we can't turn over a lot of material. In fact, if we do, by law, under Chapter 11, people in our office would have to get fired for turning some things over. So the standards and the laws that apply to our office, because we have so many whistleblowers and so many tipsters who come to us, are different. And we're going to keep following those laws to make sure that everybody in the state of Iowa knows that I would rather be slandered in court than have them think that we are going to just hand over emails where they're blowing the whistle.
You're an attorney. What is additional factual to people who aren't?
Sure. The case was dismissed just based on reading the lawsuit last time. What the Supreme Court has said is, let's do more than read the lawsuit. Let's have a little bit of evidence develop. Any other questions? All right. Thanks.